This is Kelly from Hills, Deals, and Wheels Mobile Home Investing Course, and today we're going to be talking about investing in a 55 and older mobile home community. And right now, I'm going to say, guys, investing in a 55 and older community might not be the best idea, especially if you're going to invest in the state of Florida, or you're going to invest in the state of California, or you're going to invest in the state of Arizona. And I'm going to go over a couple of things. We're going to mainly talk about the state of Florida. First of all, mobile homes in the state of Florida. Right now, a single wide can cost you anywhere between $30,000 and $80,000 for a single wide mobile home, fairly new. Okay, it might not be brand new, but fairly new. The lot rent in the state of Florida is going to cost you anywhere in the upwards of $400 to $800 plus a month. Of course, if it's only $400 a month, guys, you got to be very, very careful of those types of parks, especially if you plan on living in the mobile home. Renting out the mobile home, that's a whole nother ball of wax. If you're okay with the lot rent only being $400, then you have to be careful of the caliber of people that you're going to be renting to. A key
Shut
point,
up.
if you're planning on investing in a 55 and older community, 9 times out of 10, that community is going to ask that you also, even though you have no plans on living in there, you as the investor, that you are also 55 and older. Now, sometimes the park will grandfather you in, depending upon if you have a relationship with the park or depending upon the rules and regulations of that particular park. Now, when you're investing in a 55 and older park, you also have to remember sometimes they're going to charge you an HOA. So that's another expense that you have to worry about. Now, also, if you actually own a mobile home inside a 55 and older park and you plan on selling that mobile home, the person that you're trying to sell that mobile home to also has to be 55. So you're pretty much narrowing down your options on who you can sell your mobile home to when you're dealing with 55 and older parks. Like I said, sometimes the parks will allow you to be grandfathered in. So it's not like it's a losing situation, guys, but sometimes it could be a uphill battle. And I also mentioned about the HOAs. You have to consider the HOAs when you're trying to rent out these mobile homes. Now, the best thing to do when you're dealing with Florida, you're dealing with Arizona, you're dealing with California and 55 and older communities, the best thing to do would probably be to fix and flip the mobile homes. Okay. Especially if you're not 55. Okay. The best thing to do is to flip the mobile homes. Okay. However, you're going to need somebody 55 in order to purchase the mobile home for you. That's another thing you have to think about. In my course, I actually go over how there's a ways to get around not being 55 and still being able to invest in this particular park. So I go over that in my course, Hills, Deals, and Wheels mobile home investing course available on Vimeo. Okay. Another thing we want to talk about, there's going to be different rules in the 55 and older park that you're not going to have in other parks. First of all, if you're 55 and older, 9 times out of 10, you might have grandchildren, you might have great nieces or great nephews, and the rules and regulations concerning overnight stays and things of that nature might change just because you're in a 55 and older community. Now let's talk about animals. Now you're going to have your animal, and sometimes, guys, this applies to mostly all parks. Animals are going to have to be approved by the park, especially if the animal is not a service animal. It is definitely going to have to be approved by the park. So that's another obstacle you have to worry about when you're dealing with investing in a 55 and older community. Another thing you have to consider is there a market for 55 and older in the community that you're trying to purchase? Is there a market? Okay. Or are these people actually staying in these mobile homes who are 55 and older and they never leave? Okay. So is there a market in that particular area? Can you hurry up, buy this mobile home, fix it up, and then turn around and flip it? Or are you going to have to be paying months and months of lot rent, months and months of HOA fees, months and months of water bill, months and months of light bill? Is that what you're going to have to do before you're able to turn around and make a profit on this particular mobile home? And what type of profit can you make? Okay, that's another thing to consider. You don't want to dump all your money inside of an older model mobile home And then next door, they're selling that same mobile home that's probably brand new for that same dollar amount. What would keep somebody from purchasing your mobile home versus a brand new mobile home that's right next door? So that's another thing you have to consider. You want to make sure you do not price your mobile home too high where they're not going to be potential buyers are not going to be looking at your mobile home. They're going to be looking at other mobile homes as well. So regardless if you're in a 55 and older community or not, here's a couple of things that you have to consider. The lot rent. Is the lot rent too high? Is the lot rent too high where you will not be able to make a profit? That's one thing you have to consider. The taxes. Are the taxes too high? Are the yearly taxes too high where you cannot make a profit from your renter? You have to consider is how much you can rent this mobile home out for. Okay, what would keep somebody from renting your mobile home out versus getting an apartment? That's another thing you have to consider. One thing I can tell you about mobile home investing, guys, a lot of times people do not like to share a wall with other people. So they would prefer actually living in a mobile home versus living in an apartment complex because remember, you have to share walls with people, sometimes on all four sides. You have people on each side of you, you have people above you, and then you have people below you. In the mobile home park, you do not have to worry about that. You're not sharing a side with anybody. And remember also, if you decide to live in a mobile home park, a mobile home community, whether it's 55 and older or not, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be living in a better neighborhood than you would normally be able to live in if you were trying to live in a single family home. So when you're driving the mobile home park like we're doing right now, you will see that this mobile home park is kept up very nicely. The grass is well manicured, it's well lit, the streets are paved. You often have speed bumps. In this particular park, you have a lot of recreational activities. You also have a recreational building as well. The mailboxes are centrally located. They are expecting the tenants to keep up their property. And as you can see, I wouldn't bat an eye about investing in this particular park. However, the only drawback is that I have to keep in mind that my potential tenant is going to have to be 55 and older regardless if you're trying to flip this mobile home or regardless if you're trying to buy and hold this mobile home, you're going to have to be 55 and older. Like I said previously, I teach my students how you can get around being 55. And one reason, and I'm sure some of you guys will already figure that out, is that you are going to have to get somebody with 55 to put their name on this particular property. But I show you yet another way how you can get around this whole ordeal. This is Kelly from Hills, Deals, and Wheels Mobile Home Investing Course. If you want to do a free one-on-one Zoom with me, we can do that. You can contact me at 800-974-5580. You can call or text me and go ahead and leave a message and we can schedule a free 30-minute Zoom.